It is Wednesday, 1st of June 2022. Earlier today I did a Briekmerke on a similar topic to what I'm going to be discussing now. And this is about the British Empire, or what was formerly known as the British Empire. Because it's only Britain left in a few spots around the globe here and there. The British came to South Africa, and what they did here was horrendous. My ancestors suffered. Many were killed. Many were butchered and died in the concentration camps. So, as an Afrikaner, I don't have a soft spot for the English. There was a morning that my grandfather took some rusks and biltong, put it in his saddlebag, saddled his horse, took his gun, and said goodbye to my grandmother with these words: "Now the British has gone too far." That was around 100 years ago. And the Anglo-Boer War is well documented, as well as the atrocities that the British committed here in South Africa. The concentration camps was, in modern terms, a crime against humanity, not even a war crime. But let it be. Let's look at Britain today. First of all, your leadership. It's a joke. I cannot understand that the British people cannot see that this leadership you have is dead set on destroying your country and destroying your life. Just take for a moment this immigrant inflow into your country. The British people worked hard for all their lives, and they contributed to the different social schemes and so forth, so that they can have a comfortable old age. These immigrants are being allowed in, and they are immediately getting the benefits from that funds without ever contributing a single penny to it. Now, in 2005, I was working in Kuwait, and one night at a barbecue in the desert, a banker said to me that Europe is in deep trouble. And I asked him why, and he said, first problem they have is they have mismanaged the pension funds and retirement funds. And according to our calculations, in 15 or 20 years from now, they won't be able to service the people that deserve those funds. And I asked him a simple question: how are they going to handle it? And his response stunned me. He looked me straight in the eye and he said, "Mr. Colleen, they're going to kill the old people." Now, just think about it. That was in 2005. But, okay. We've seen what happened in Germany with the immigrants, we've seen what happened in Sweden with the immigrants, and we see what's happening in London. If you look at London, your mayor is not a Brit, so it's actually Londonistan, formerly known as London. You look at your cabinet, how many people in key positions there is British? But let's leave that aside, because I can hear the snowflakes mumbling racist and all that type of nonsense. We must look at the realities. The British culture is busy getting wiped out. You have got large areas of your country where Brits are not the majority anymore. You're the minority. They bring in stuff like Sharia law, and there's no-go zones for the police. Young women is not safe in your streets anymore. They're not safe on the buses, on the trains, in the malls, nowhere. And your government is constantly making excuses for the barbarian activities that is happening in your country. Face the facts. Britain has been invaded and is still being invaded by immigrants. And your leadership is absolutely powerless, or they don't have any will to protect you, the British citizens. I read stories about the Royal Navy will be used to break the Russian blockade of the Black Sea, and I laugh. That Royal Navy cannot even control and block rubber ducks that are landing on your shores. It is a joke. Your Prime Minister goes and he makes a stupid statement like Britain will supply security guarantees to Finland and Sweden if the NATO thing goes wrong. What a load of nonsense. The Russians will wipe the British army off the map in 48 hours. The British leadership has donated so much weapons to Ukraine that you are short on stocks. And now I read that the major weapons manufacturers say that they will only be able to replace some of your ammunitions by 2026. You people are stupid. You are giving your country away. You are sitting with your hands folded and your leadership is destroying your country. That two-party system you have there is a joke. Both parties are useless. And both parties has got no intention of protecting Britain. They're sitting there for the salaries, and that's it. You've got an immigrant in charge of your finances. You've got an immigrant in charge of your immigration. Now they're making a big story of sending a plane full of immigrants to Rwanda. It's a joke. That plane has not even taken off, and in the time they've been discussing it, about another 20 plane loads has landed on your beaches. You as the British people have to accept that your morning of saddling up and go and face the enemy is here now. You're not going to survive. Your culture is not going to survive. The New World Order has made it clear that white people and white cultures must be diluted. They don't call it dilute. They've got all types of fancy words for it. But look at what is happening. Just ask yourself how many old people died in the past 2 years. Forget the reasons. Just look at the numbers. They are busy exterminating the British population. And you guys are sitting and tweeting about it and posting on Facebook about it. You must now come to that point where my ancestors came, when they said, when he took his gun, saddled his horse and said, now the British has gone too far. If you don't do that, you are gone. If you think Boris will save your country, I've got a bridge to sell, as one of the commentators on the Duran says frequent. You guys are being led down the garden path. You will experience exactly what the countries where your soldiers invaded experienced. The same things is going to happen to you now in 2022. Call me whatever you like. But just ask yourself this question. Can you walk out of your front door now and get on a bicycle and start pedaling through the countryside? Can you do it? I see small villages in England where your government dumps 1,500 immigrants. That village is gone. Accept it. But the question is, do you British have the guts to fight for your own country? Forget about Ukraine, your own country. Look at how much money your government is giving to the Ukraine. Now I believe they want to pump 15 billion rands, that's $1 billion, into South Africa to promote the green agenda. That green agenda is a stillborn. They make a story about carbon saving with an electric vehicle. Just go and look at a photograph of one volcano somewhere on the globe exploding. And then try and imagine the carbon that is released there. And I can tell you now that one puff neutralizes all your green plans for 1,000,000 years. Just one, that's one. How many volcanoes are active around the globe? Wake up, England, your days are over.